Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
And welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link in the description box, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, somewhere in the description box, there's another link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,700 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, I got a lot of good stuff here to talk about. The OTA is still going on, right? Got some, I think there's like another 3, maybe 4 next week. And I think that might be, let's see here. Let's take a quick peek here. This is a New York Giants OTA schedule. There we go. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Okay. Got the 9th and the 10th. Okay, so 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got Monday and Tuesday. And they're off Wednesday, and they got Thursday and Friday. And then they have a veteran mini camp, June 17th and 19th. And then I think that's when they're off. They got that 4 or 5 weeks off, whatever, and they come back July, and then boom, and it's on, baby. So, but next week there's 4 days. They're off on Wednesday. They got 4 more OTAs left to go, right? And then Giants hold a veteran mini camp the following week. So that would be what? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the following week. And then everybody's gone. Poof. Just like that for like 4 or 5 weeks. But I said, when they come back though, it's on, guys. It's on, right? Training camp, right? And then after the first week or so of training camp, first week, 10 days, whatever, you got the Hall of Fame game, right? And then, right? Then you have the Giants 3 preseason games and have a little bit of time off, 10 days, whatever it is off. And then, baby. Yeah. Oh, man. Is there a better time of the season? Obviously, I always love Christmas and the New Year and Thanksgiving and all that and everything. Because I love the family and the time. I love November, I love October, I love December. I love those times of season because it's the family and all of that and the holidays and all. But I always really, really love July 4th because July 4th, it's just the calm just before the storm because you got a couple weeks left, right? And then I said, once training camp starts, there's something going on every day. I mean, right? And of course, then you're off and running with the season. It's right. So that's why I always love July 4th too. It's just before the beginning of the beginning. Right. So we got 4 more TAs and a little veteran mini camp, and then we're off and running. But I did see this was a little surprising here. PFF predicts the 2 Giants to be most improved. Now the thing is here, hey, I'm for it, but I mean at each position. Right, so obviously, we're gonna go over each guy, but I mean, there's a wide receiver, a running back. So there's only so many different positions on the football field, right? And to have 2 of them be Giants, interesting. Now, kind of wondering, like, obviously, but she's seen the thumbnail there. Obviously, I'll read it. But one of them is Kayvon. Now, he actually, his sack total obviously went down from the year before. That's what a lot of people are looking at. They're like, dude, he sucked last year. He had like, what, 4.5, 5.5 sacks? He sucks, right? But not necessarily. His pressures were up. I know his quarterback. Let me see. Where are we here? Okay. If it's going to pop up, I don't even know. I had, there we go. Here we go. Let's see if we got it here. Okay. Let me pop in here. Kayvon. All right, where we at? Okay, there we go. Now, it's going to load. This, I don't know what's been going on here with PFF. This is. I've been having problems with PFF for the past week or so. This is just, but I do know, listening to especially Big Blue Kickoff Live, they were throwing out some numbers as far as what his his pressures were. I mean, he was getting to the quarterback last year very well, just not bringing the quarterback down. He actually is getting to the quarterback. He did very well last season. So, but of course, the one thing is that what a lot of people obviously want to see is, of course, the sacks. If you don't get sacks, obviously he couldn't have had a good season. But he had a very good season. And let's not forget, he had his problem with his wrist as well too. Okay. Now last season, let's see here. Pressures. He missed. He only had 593. He didn't even have 600 snaps last year. Okay, but he had 38 pressures in 358 snaps. So basically about every pass rushing snaps. So he had more, like one out of every, I'm going to say about 9.5 pass rushing. So snaps last year, he got a pressure. All right. He had 23 hurries. He had 9 hits. They have 6 sacks. They don't do half sacks. Okay. But he had 38 total pressures and 358. So he had like 1 out of every 9.5. All right. So let me go back to 2023. And let's see what he did there. And obviously, of course, this is the one where he had all the sacks. This is the one where it's like, it's phenomenal seasons. Of course, everybody looks at last season as a bad season. Well, obviously, he missed time, right? Because he was injured, so he did miss some time. Now, also, you're kind of wondering too, obviously, you need to be a pass rusher. Obviously, you need everything. But if you're trying to, put a move on, and you got a problem with one of your wrists, or you're trying to bull rush or something, it could cause some problems. Now, 2023, he had 500. See, he had 520. I can't even figure this out because I got my. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Okay, good. Here we go. Let's do the calculator here. He had 520. All right, let's see. He had, what was it? 358 divided by, I think it was, what did I say, 38? So every 9.4. Every 9.4 pass rushes last season, he got a pressure. 9.4. Okay. 2023, when he had all those sacks, when he was the greatest, when he was like, oh, he's really good. But of course, last year he sucked. No, but in 2023, he had 520 pass rushing snaps because it looks like he played pretty much every game, right? So he had 520 divided by, according to PFF, that's all I'm going by, he had 43 total pressures divided by 43. Whoops. Hold on there. 520. No. Let me try this here. 43 divided by 520. He had 8%. 8% of his every 8 out of every 100, basically out of every 100. Okay, pass for he had 8. So about pressure on total pressure 8% of his snaps. Okay, 8% of his pass rushing snaps. You got to pressure 8% in 2023. 2024. Let me go back here. What the heck did I say? Can I do this here? So 8%. I said last year he had 358 divided by 38, 9.4. Right. So he actually had better. He had 9.4. He actually had 1.5% better pass percentage last year. 9.5% of the time he got a sack. He got a pressure. I'm sorry. 8% of the time 2 years ago. So actually last season he actually did better as far as with the pressures and all that. Right. Now, of course, as I said, nobody's going to want to think that or whatever. But he did well. Now, the thing is, with Kayvon, okay, sometimes it's like who's on your line, right? I mean, you get one guy who's just dominant, like a Reggie White, a Lawrence Taylor, somebody like that. We have to, you have to game plan. It makes everybody look better, right? We got Dexter Lawrence, we got Abdul Carter, you got Burnsy. I mean, Kayvon's out there. He's got 3 primetime studs. Let's hope with Abdul, because he hasn't played a snap yet, obviously. But we know what Burnsy can do. We know what Sexy can do, right? If those guys can stay healthy, and Abdul Carter can hopefully do what he might do. Kayvon certainly sack-wise, yes. Oh, yeah. Because it's almost kind of like, I think Burnsy talked about it, too, with the OTAs on Thursday, because it was open to the media. Some of the guys were talking, and he said it was almost kind of like pick your poison, really. And let's not forget about Mr. Alexander, too, when he's on the field. And let's not forget about Mr. Golston, too. It can be very interesting to see how they can get all those freaking guys on the field at the same time. Very, very interesting. I mean, because you want Burnsy on there, you want Kayvon on there. Sexy, especially on third down, maybe passing situations or so. Who you going to have next to Sexy, right? Are you going to put like the NASCAR package where you're going to, the front 4 is going to be Sexy, Kayvon, Abdul, and Burnsy somehow, right? Or you're going to put maybe Burns over here, Kayvon over here, Sexy there, maybe Golston or somebody, or Alexander on third down. And then maybe if Carter's on it, maybe he'd be the off-ball middle linebacker or whatever you want to call him, right? And then it's almost, kind of like pick your poison, right? I mean, they're going to have to keep an eye on, it's almost kind of like when you had Lawrence Taylor on there, it's like, where's Lawrence lining up at? It's like, it might be the same thing with Carter, right? You got the front 4 there, and it's like, okay, great. We got these 4 monsters, but where's Carter at? He's, what I mean? So, obviously Kayvon certainly could benefit without question from all of that. And then the other one that they're talking about was kind of like it had a slow start once again, and especially they talk about this a lot. I hear it a lot, but the tight end position. It's a very, very difficult position just to walk into the NFL and really just start taking over. Like obviously Brock Bowers did very, very well. Right? No question about that. But for the most part, it's a difficult position, because you got to learn obviously the passing and the blocking. Right? It's not easy. And we saw a little bit in the beginning. With Theo was kind of like, is the guy? Is he on the field? Where is he? He started off slow, but I think they said the last 5 games that he played, because he got injured, right? I think he had like 18 receptions, right? Now that's not super duper spectacular, but you think about it, right? 18 receptions every 5 games, right? So it'd be 18, 36, be 54 in 15 games. So he was on pace for at that rate. He was on pace for at least 60 receptions his rookie season. Not too shabby. I'll take that, right? He really started, coming along, especially in the receiving department. Okay, he really, even think he wound up like 29 receptions, right? Of course, once again, these guys got to stay healthy too. But PFF is bullish on these two guys for the Giants here. Now all right, I'm going to talk here real fast. I'll go over quarterback. They think Caleb Williams of the Bears might take a leap forward. And I'll tell you what, I can certainly see that. They got some weapons. If they ever get any decent coaching, if they get anybody other than that freaking moron ahead on the sidelines last season, Caleb absolutely could take a big step forward. Absolutely. Jalen Wright of the Dolphins is the running back. Marvin Harrison Jr. of the Cardinals. That's possible. Then they have Theo Johnson of the Giants. I'm all for that, baby. They said Johnson was part of the reason Tyler Warren didn't fully break out in the Penn State offense until his senior season, and the Giants' 4th-round pick went on to start 11 games in his rookie season before a foot injury cut his season short. Johnson caught 29 balls for 339 yards and a touchdown, earning a 53.6 grade. So it's 11 yards of reception. Not too bad. Johnson caught just 11 passes for 115 yards in his first 7 games. But the first 7 games of the season, but before kicking it up a gear and catching 18 passes for 216 yards in the next 5 games. In truth, Johnson's season ended just as he was starting to find a groove, which, unfortunately, halting his momentum. However, the circumstances for his return in the offensive environment he'll find himself in 2025 are far greater. The Giants' 64.4 grade on offense in 2024 was 29th in the NFL. But with Russell Wilson, Jameson Winston, or even Jackson Dart at quarterback, there should be more consistency on the offense. The hope is that Johnson can pick up from where he left off back in the back half of 2024 season and continue to grow into a secondary pass catcher for the Giants. Now, because let's not forget, right? I mean, we got a couple guys that can maybe go deep. Obviously, we're going to be looking for Malik Neighbors, right? But if the nice thing about like with a Hyatt, a Slayton, and a Neighbors is that kind of maybe spreads things out a little bit, right? Which kind of opens up stuff in the middle, right? Where Theo can maybe thrive, right? Let's see. The hope is that Johnson can pick up where he left off, right? And continue to grow as a secondary pass catcher for the Giants. Malik Neighbors will naturally be the number 1 option on offense, but with a whole offseason under his belt, Johnson could become a real hit in 2025. And obviously, the more reps you can get is huge. It's priceless. You can't put a price tag on reps. Game reps, can't. But just being around the offense for another season, right, is going to be huge. Because it's not an easy offense to pick up, especially for the receivers. But the more you're in it, right, more it starts becoming second nature. And if you can just start reacting like a ninja, right, you just react. It's instead of thinking, right, it could be priceless for Mr. Johnson. And let's not forget one thing that that we've seen, right, with Shane as far as picking tight ends. He loved that. If you look at the RAS scores, they're like off the charts for all these guys. Bellinger, Fedoni, Theo Johnson, even when they traded for Waller, all their RAS scores were really, really off the freaking charts. So these guys are really good athletes. And not only that, I mean, he's tall and he's big too. And he's, very good athlete. So, keep an eye on it. Really, really keep an eye on it. All right, then we got Fasciano is the tackle for the Jets. They think is going to take a big leap. Skoronski, the Titans, is the guard. Jackson Powers Johnson for the Raiders at center. All right, then we go to the defensive side of the ball. We got Newton, the Washington Commanders defensive tackle. Tyrese Knight for the Seahawks is a linebacker. Cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry for the Saints. And Bullard, Javon Bullard, Green Bay Packers safety. So, I mean, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 positions that they graded. And out of those 12, 2 of them are Giants. Not bad. Not 1, not none, but 2. Pretty good. So at edge rusher, they think Kayvon. Kayvon hasn't quite hit the heights you'd expect from a top 5 pick, earning a 68.7 grade in his first 3 seasons in the NFL. 68th among all edge rushers. But he impressed at times in 2024, generating 38 total pressures and 6 sacks. Basically, I think it was 5.5. They don't do half sacks in just 12 games. That didn't. So you figure 5.5 sacks, right? He would have had if he played all 17 games, he was on pace for about 8 sacks. But he was also on pace for, 19, 58, about 55, 56, 57 pressures. Well, that's not too bad. 8 sacks, 55 to 60 pressures. Not bad. Not bad. If he played all 17 games. That didn't stop the Giants from drafting Abdul Carter with the number 3 overall pick. And Carter will likely enter the season starting ahead of Kayvon. We'll have to see about that. Well, I mean, you don't draft a dude number 3 and not put him on the field. So it's going to be interesting to see where they do put him. And, of course, we got Burnsy, too, right? That could be damaging, but it could also serve as a fresh opportunity for the former Oregon Duck. The snap reduction, if anything, means Kayvon will be fresher and hopefully more liable to be a difference maker when he's on the field, which is true. I mean, instead of him being out there for whatever, 60, 70%, 75% of the snaps, right? We're taking him off the field because he's tired, right? Well, if he's on the sideline, right? He's raring to go coming in the game, right? Who came on, buddy? Who came on? Yeah, I mean, and have him coming onto the field, he's nice and fresh. Well, that could really boost his numbers. So let's see. Tivon earned a 79.2 pass rushing grade, 13th among edge rushers in the NFL, generating 21 pressures and 11 stops at the time. Ending the season on a high, playing some of the best football of his career, only serves as a positive for Kayvon. The strength of the Giants' defense could help. The defensive front could be one of the best in the NFL. Well, it better be up there. Let me tell you frickin' what. In 2025 with 3 edge rushers and Dexter Lawrence, whose 93.4 grade is the highest among defensive tackles since 2022. An excellent depth along the line. More players capable of rushing the passer means high-quality pass rushing opportunities. Kayvon could finally start to prove his worth as a former top 5 pick. As I said, sometimes, what you wind up getting, is you get like one guy, or 1 or 2 guys, and it's, it opens things up for everybody else, makes it better, Because let's not forget, I mean, obviously Sexy was injured last season. He lost some time. But Burnsy, I mean, you look at the injury, it was like almost every day he had a groin and he had this. He always had something going on. But the guy played all the time, right? But let's not forget about Carter, right? So it's going to be interesting to see where Bowen plans to put these guys, what the snap count will be and all that stuff and everything. But even if Kayvon, even if the snap count goes down, that'll be a fresher Kayvon. I mean, there's no snap count for a guard. There's no snap count for a tackle or nothing like that. It's like it's not like the offensive tackle. Oh, let's get a blow. You bring the tackle out. Let's get a fresh tackle in there because Kayvon. No. Yeah, I mean, so the offensive line is in there. They get worn down. Well, if you get a fresh guys, I mean, don't forget about what the Eagles did a couple of years ago. All those sacks they had. They had so many sacks. They kept having guys coming in off the sideline and having double-digit sacks. That's huge for defensive front, right? So the Giants might have something like that. So if Kayvon does take a nice step forward, I wouldn't be surprised. And the same thing with Mr. Johnson. Looking for nice things for him too this season. Right? He's never going to be he's never going to be like a Brock Bowers kind of thing where Brock got, had all those receptions because we got Malik, which you don't want, unless Malik goes down, which once again, you don't want. But he'll be a nice safety valve, right? So look for good things from Theo this year. Thank you.